It's getting crazy out here, y'all. Stay focused. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you. You're gonna find your way, babe. Your way, babe. You're gonna find your way. Yeah, take a look around you. You're gonna find your way, babe. You're gonna find your way.
Yeah, I talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the rule. Got things to do. I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice payday. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure. This my kingdom, nigga. Stay back. We had a couple of moments. You had a choice, nigga, on it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. New sound, just vibe with it. Same truth, and we die with it. I see it like it's an optical. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of me to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All of y'all niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think with your head. Stop looking at trends. You wearing your eyes like it's topical.
Clearly now, the pain is gone, the fame is on, and they play my songs. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the rule. Got things to do. I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. New era, I got y'all. Real gang, we pop off, no knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines we find out. End game getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Yeah, talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the rule. Got things to do. I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe.
He's heating up! He's on fire!
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Long time no see.
All you have to do is stop putting garbage in your face hole. Can you do that? Fat fuck.
Discrimination.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Beautiful Normuth.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, 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 testicles, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 25 hundo and 95 of the Daily Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm. Because we're not flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and your hoes? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beescast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everest and Kate 2, flexing on all you
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
The fucking Catalina
One
wine
second,
mixer.
you gotta look at the church for a second because I gotta turn on the light for the nut. The light for the nut is not on. It is not on. How did I forget the nut light? I forgot the nut light. There we go. We got the nut light on. There we go. And we have the Tainty Man. And he's behind all sorts. He's behind mangoes. He's behind everything. I'm going to have to move those shirts. What's going on, fam? Welcome to the show. I'm going to have to move all that shit. Thanks for being here. It's an evening swole. It's Wednesday, June the 14th. And we are about to jump right into today's episode. We had some work going on at the place earlier. So we're doing a little bit of an evening swole today. But before we get into today's episode, we do have a great show. We're going to pause to remind all of you, we talked about it yesterday and the day before. Tomorrow's episode is private for members. We have our 45th round table. Let's get a little America. Fuck yeah! 45th round table tomorrow, June 15th at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Thursday, tomorrow, 6 p.m. So the episode will be private. If you want to get access to all the uncensored content, all the private live streams, like we have Overtime on Friday, we have a brand new Drive Mo Gaining, the twice monthly Swole Fam roundtables, and the weekly Monday accountability meetings, plus all the private groups. You can check out everything we have over there at swolenormousx.com. Plus we have all the information on the 7 pillars, thousands of recipes. We have all of our programs for training, the 90-day dash, scorched earth, swole season, all those things. Go and check it out, swolenormousx.com. But be there tomorrow, Thursday, June 15th, 6 p.m., round table, 6 p.m. Eastern time, round table. The live call is going to be lit, goes from 6 to 8 p.m., and it's going to be absolutely fire. Last but not least, I want to jump right into today's episode, but we have Papa Swolio's signature series. That's me, my signature series, going down in just a few days. So it's almost episode 2600. So on the date of the 19th, we will be having our 24-hour release event over there at swolenormousx.com/signature. And you have 24 hours on the date of episode 2600. That's June 19th. It's going to be awesome. This release is going to be absolutely fire. You do not want to miss it. You do not want to miss it. Okay. A lot of you have been eager for this shirt. You don't even know that you're eager for it. Last time we had But My Thyroid, and these are one-time releases. So don't miss out. swolenormousx.com/signature. 5 days away. All right, let's get into today's show. We have a rip-roaring adventure with Papa and the Swole Fam. Let's get today's Swole card out. It's a doozy. Come on, Falcon, let's fucking go. Falcon. Absolutely. All right. Hashtag Make America Swole. I just saw this post and I thought it was funny. Dylan says, had the knowledge cock always moved? Watching the evening stream on the big screen and never noticed while watching on the phone. Yeah, so if you look right over here, you see the knowledge cock, it actually moves. It's a little eggplant and it's dancing and it moves. It's always moved. always moved since the beginning. So if you never noticed that before, you gotta put me on the fucking big screen. You gotta put me on the big screen. Yeah, flexing in fucking 4K. Okay, it's always moved. It's always moved. I don't know if you've noticed that. Okay, Make America Swole. Hashtag Make America Swole, and we'll give away that Swole card at the end of today's show. Now let's moisturize and get right into that tip. Come on, get it wet. Babe, just an inch, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, time for some Swole fam fire. Let's kick it off with Nicholas. What we got here?
What's in the box?
Nicholas says, "What's up, Swole fam? Just officially joined. Welcome, Nick. First saw the Instagram go to the fucking gym videos, and then I started watching the YouTube videos for a while and started to try some of the things Papa has suggested in his videos, and I've made a lot of progress. Start at 380 pounds, in parentheses, I know, holy shit, LOL. And I'm down to 349 and feeling better and stronger than ever before. Thought I'd officially join since it's been going well so far." That's awesome, dude. Excellent. Fantastic.
He's on fire!
So you've already lost 31 pounds and obviously you have a lot more to go. Welcome officially to the fam, Nicholas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have another post here from Sandra. And Sandra says, "I'm sad my boyfriend is really out of shape. Aww. Trust me, I have compassion because he broke his neck a few years ago and he's working and doing stuff even though he probably wouldn't be alive. But every time I talk about the gym or yoga or a podcast, he flips out of the conversation or makes me see that he's not really into it or is really not into it. Like, get your lazy ass up, please, and help yourself for fuck's sake, LOL." Well, that's a tough one, Sandra. One of the hardest things to do is when you've gotten swole pilled, when you've started to come into your 7 pillars and you start making these positive changes, and the people that you care about most in the world don't latch onto what's already blown your mind. And it can be like this for many things, especially for health. They'll give you some shit for it. They'll give you grief. They'll pull back. They'll discount it. And you're really eager to start that kind of journey together, but you can't control what other people do. Lupe says, "Your ex-boyfriend, you mean?" Oh, no. Matt says, "Just keep setting the example." There really is nothing else that you can do. Bottom line, whether or not he does it, you're going to do it. So number one, you have to make sure, Sandra, that you don't waver at all. You have to make sure you don't waver at all. You have to make sure that you stay focused and don't let his negativity and or apathy drag you back. So you have to lead by example. So would it be great if he did it with you? Yes. Are you with him because he broke his neck and you felt guilty about leaving him? Not that he should break his neck or have an injury and you're just like, bye, peace. That's up to the individual and whatever. But is this some latent, deep, I should say, just guilt, for lack of a better term or more specific? Do you feel guilty if you are ready to move on? People have to grow with you. Also, I'm curious what your actual conversation has been with him. Is it just about talking about the gym or yoga? Have you talked about how important it is to you? Have you had a serious conversation? This is a serious conversation. There's a couple things that can really break a relationship apart or keep one from even starting. Culture is a big thing. Religion's a big thing. These types of beliefs are a big thing. It's becoming, politics is becoming a big thing in relationships. But these fundamental beliefs, that's a entire lifestyle. That's an entire premise. That's an entire morality and respect for your body and for your life and for investing in yourself and challenging yourself physically. That's very fundamental. That's almost as fundamental as it gets for me, personally. And for many of you, pretty much everyone in the Swole fam and a lot of you that are listening, it's more important than you think. And as you continue and as you learn and as you challenge yourself and as you keep on moving forward with it and you go deeper and you try more things and you improve and you constantly improve and you get addicted to improving and challenging yourself and doing better and investing in this thing called life, you're investing in yourself and you're taking care of yourself, it becomes harder and harder to understand people that don't. It's very much like speaking a different language. So I'm curious as to maybe having a more serious conversation, not just fleeting comments here and there. Nicole says, sometimes an example doesn't help. It's also a partial reason for my pending divorce. One Arm Warrior says, if I get a significant other, it's going to have to come from the Swole fam. That's what I'm talking about. Little Swole man. There you go. There you go. Where are those single Swole sluts out there? Let's see. Swole Spartan. My wife has no interest in this life, but supports me 10,000%. That's also interesting. That's also interesting. It's great that she supports you. That's fantastic. But that's also interesting that she supports you with 10,000%, but has no interest in taking care of her health. I don't understand. I don't understand people that don't want to do physical activity and exercise. I love it so much, and it's so good for you in so many different ways. It becomes more like speaking a different language. You're very welcome, Sandra. I'm glad you're here live. If you want to follow up a little bit, obviously that goes deeper than we could ever get into here. Nick says, my girlfriend hates working out, but we are on the same page food-wise. Very important. It doesn't also matter whether or not you like working out or not, as you know, Nick. But maybe there is some sort of physical training that she does connect with a little bit more, and that could be a good foot in the door. And this is also, we can go off and you guys can drop some more comments and we can read some more of them. We'll get into a couple email replies. But it's also something that's important, the difference between doing what you need to do in order to get the results that you want or claim to want, and then doing the things you enjoy. So I think it's very good to enjoy and to take pleasure and have pride in your fitness and in your training. And I do think it's important to enjoy what you're doing, but not at the expense of what's the best thing to do, because there are things that I do in order to get a result. I don't really think about whether or not I enjoy it. There are certain things that are easier on my mental, that don't stress me out as much mentally. I like the way I think about it. I like the way I can attack it. I like the way to approach it in a certain way. So I'll do certain training protocols because I know I'll adhere to it better and it's better for me in the moment. But I also have a lot of experience and trial and error when it comes to my training. So I look at things a little bit differently. So adherence is important. And I think people confuse enjoyment with adherence. There are certain things that will get you to execute more frequently. But if you're going just based off enjoyment, but you're expecting results from, in other words, do you want the results? Do you want muscles? Do you want to lose body fat? Do you want to have a certain physique or shape and things like that? Do you want to build strength? You have to train a certain way. And it doesn't matter if you like it or not. You can go running all you want. You're not going to build muscle and you're not going to lose enough body fat. You're not going to improve your body composition, improve your bone density. You're not going to do all these things that are very important when it comes to strength training. So in other words, just don't confuse what you like to do, what helps you adhere to the training protocols better, and also what you need to do. We're going deep today. The knowledge cock is thick. We're not even there yet. We're still on the tip. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how that's going to feel when we push that in a little bit more? Let's see. The old youngster, I lost 65 pounds since 2018 and set the example. She lost about 25. We went to the gym together a couple times, but she likes her workout videos and I go to the gym. We both fast, but I eat cleaner. All right. You're also different people too, so you have to keep that in mind. But it's the more you're on the same page, as long as you're both heading in the same direction. Sometimes people want to take separate cars. Does that make sense? Good analogy. Let's see. Nicole says, I got accused of trying to look good for other people and then comments about gym clothes I've used for years. No, it's only for me. This was also from a guy 350 plus pounds and eats a whole box of noodles. Sounds like he was very self-conscious. And this is the frustrating part. People get self-conscious and project that insecurity rather than fucking stepping up and training hard and doing it. Do it yourself. Do it yourself. You don't have to be insecure if you're fucking kicking ass. Go to the fucking gym. Get started. Do it. It's going to solve that problem. All right. Okay, let's get into some questions. If you're ready to join the Swole fam again, check us out, swolenormousx.com. We just read a couple Swole fam posts. And let's get into a couple email responses. If you want to get on the email list, go to makeemailswoleagain.com. Links in the description below. Makeemailswoleagain.com. Let's get into. We got a couple responses. These are great. Oops. This one's a little bit long. That's going to go deep. So let's start us off with Daisy. We got a good response.
What's in the box?
This is from the email, what is the best diet? And Daisy writes, bacon, eggs, and steak today with black coffee. I love how simple it is. I've been pretty much eating like this for 12 days now. It's so simple. I actually have more time to make my kids' meals. Sometimes they join in on the bacon and steak, and every day they like their eggs too. Absolutely. Another benefit of eating nutrient-dense foods that are delicious, you can fuel up. You can think of your food as fuel, but also enjoy it. And you will enjoy it if you're eating nutrient-dense food. Your body is satisfied. And you are going to match that enjoyment with your food that matches the actual nutrient density, not just what taste buds it hits and what hormones it releases in your brain. The dopamine release of eating some hot Cheetos just because they are designed to get you to not be able to stop eating the whole fucking bag. So when you're eating nutrient-dense food and you're eating simply, it's less brain space. You want to simplify and amplify your life. Go to the fundamentals. Everything is the 7 pillars. Everything is the fundamentals. Anything that you're trying to improve at, go to the pillars. Go to the foundation. What's the simplest? What's the obvious thing? Be consistent, eat nutrient-dense food, simplify your nutrition. It doesn't need to be complicated. It shouldn't be complicated. It shouldn't be complicated. It doesn't need to be every fucking thing from around the world every single day. You don't need to take a pill or a powder that claims to have 5,000 different things in it. It just has a speck of 5,000 different things. It's not the most effective. Get the optimal. Simplify the most optimal nutritional protocol for yourself, and it'll take less thought. It'll take less brain space. You don't have to worry about what you're going to eat every day. You're going to eat your food and eat your fucking food that you enjoy and handle your business. Simplify everything. Simplify your food, simplify your training, fucking execute. It gives you more time and more brain space to think about other things and handle other things and de-stress and take care of other aspects of your life. You shouldn't be overly obsessing about all these different things with your nutrition. It's not complicated. If you make it complicated, it's going to be a burden. It's going to be crazy, and you're weighing everything and you're counting and you're entering in your fucking app and all this ridiculous shit. There's applications for some of these things, but people are counting. We always talk about it. Quality is more important than quantity. Solve the quality. And then if you need to, you can look at the quantity. You can address that later. A lot of the issues that people have from overeating and over-consuming is because they're not solving the quality. Focus on that first. All right. Again, what is the best diet? Response on the email list from Matt. And Matt says, the best diet for me might not be the best for someone else. I feel good with some white rice a few times a week. For others, that might be too much. That's the danger of falling into camps and labeling yourself as a vegan or a carnivore. Chances are you are missing out on something when you limit yourself to one extreme. A good rule of thumb is to eat things that were planted or born, not made in a facility, and eliminate from there. Some veggies might disagree with you and cause bloating. You might not like some fruits like watermelon. In parentheses, only psychopaths don't like watermelon. Goddamn truth. Find the diet that best complements your goals and dial in from there. Also, don't be afraid of being hungry. You don't always need to be shoveling food in your face. Throughout human history, not eating for several days was the norm. Eating every day is honestly a privilege that came into existence within the last 150 years. In this common world where a serving size of chicken is a bucket and a pop is a gallon, and for those that aren't from the South, pop is soda, not eating is honestly a better choice. Sorry for the long-winded response. It's time to go to the fucking gym. Later, Papa and the fam. Great email. I guess it's the West, too, they call them. Do you say soda or do you say pop? Drop that in the comments and where you're from. That's a great email. Absolutely. Absolutely. But if you tell someone not to eat all the fucking time, well, you're encouraging them to have an eating disorder. They already have an eating disorder. They're eating all the fucking time and they're eating garbage. I always say this on the show. If you're going to a drive-thru, if you're driving behind a building to get garbage processed food out of a window or on the back of a building, that's an eating disorder. That's an addiction. That's a drug addiction. It's a drug addiction. You're just chewing it instead of smoking it or injecting it. It's going in your mouth. It's going in your body. You don't have to make that equivalent. I think it's a dead-on equivalent. You're hooked on this trash. You can eat, you can inhale, you can inject. There's different ways. Transdermal, you can fucking get drugs in it a lot of different ways. Okay. Let's see. Oh, we got a couple responses to the emails. All right, we got another one here. This one is from Stephanie. Another response to the what is the best diet email. Stephanie writes, hi, I love my high protein lifestyle. I usually start my day out with an amazing protein shake, then followed by some form of aminal. Really? Aminal? Reminds me of the Rugrats, right? Responsibilities. I said aminal. I usually start my day out with an amazing protein shake, then followed by some form of animal meat, green veggies or sweet potatoes, then usually more protein for supper. Don't forget lots of water. Yummo. All right. Right on. Get that animal meat. Fantastic. All right. Last email on the same response to the same diet email from Steven. Steven writes, I am a creature of habit and have no issue eating the same thing every day or close to the same. With that, today started with 3 whole free-range eggs, nitrate-free bacon, and a small bowl of berries and cherries. Next was some grass-fed ground beef and a little broccoli, then some ground beef and a salad, no dressing, just olive oil, followed by some Greek yogurt and raw honey for dessert, which is pretty much my everyday menu. My biggest thing is making sure I'm eating enough calories. I absolutely love this style of eating and the stress-free diet it promotes instead of weighing everything I eat and counting every little macro out like I used to worry about. Hashtag watermelon for life. Oh, we're starting a movement.
Hadouken! Shoryuken!
We are starting a movement. Make watermelon, I shouldn't say make, keep watermelon great because it is. You don't have to make America, it's just keep watermelon great because it is. So shut the fuck up. You're wrong. Hashtag watermelon's awesome. If you don't think so, you're wrong. So there's that. Good for you, Stephen. I agree. Now again, if you need to count, if you need to weigh your food and get an idea of how much you're consuming. If you love doing that, some people love doing that. Some people love that data. Just don't make it a compulsion. In other words, trust me on this, focus on the quality. If you're the type of person that loves to log every last little thing, do your thing. But make sure you focus on the quality first. A lot of people that just want to generally get healthy, build muscle, they don't want to obsess over it. They don't care about, these little small micro, maybe aesthetics as much. Like everyone has different desires and outcomes, but just focus on the food quality, do the elimination diet, make sure you're cutting out inflammatory foods. It'll change your life. And I think for a lot of people, they go in just wanting either a general goal or they don't set the bar too high. They kind of like, I just want to make a little change here and there. Once they actually start doing things properly, they feel so much better. They look so much better. They start getting more results than they thought possible. And then they get fucking excited. So a lot of times, and you could drop in the comments in the live chat if you have a similar experience. Once you start seeing the results, I think people are just skeptical. They don't believe in themselves enough. They don't think it's actually going to happen. But when they start seeing that progress, then you flip the light switch and then you start getting really excited. Oh, if I can make this kind of progress, what happens if I do more? What happens if I push it harder? What happens if I boom, boom, boom? So I think you have to really see that first. You get on either it's the scale or pictures or strength, and you look in the mirror and or your clothes and you see that, whoa, this is fucking working. And then it's game on. And then you snowball, and then you really go in. You're doing it right and you're putting the effort in, but you're not really going as all in and pedal to the metal as you should be. And then once you have that experience of seeing it clicks for different people. Some of you do the scale because, objectively you have a lot to lose, and I get it. You like to see that number. You want to. You remember back a time when you weren't 300, 400, 500. So I do understand. Doesn't mean you can't. Just don't obsess with the scale and keep that in mind. You're building muscle and there's water there, and you're not going to lose at the same rate forever. But anyway, everyone has that different moment where you look in the mirror, you put on a pair of pants or a shirt that you haven't worn in a while, or you see a bulge, you see like your bicep, or you see your abs a little bit, or your shoulder, and then like light switch, and then you just want to fucking take it to the moon. All right, let's get into some questions. If you have a live question, hashtag Ask Papa Swolio, and let's kick it off with, let's go with the Telegram chat. Amanda left a question. Amanda says, or asks, is there an alternative workout to the prone press? The prone press from Swole season, I can't always get a bench at my gym, and it hurts my fun bags to lay prone at an incline like that. Okay. Amanda, you should be eating some watermelon. Watermelon will take care of the vagitis that you're suffering from. Okay. All right. Okay.
Emotional damage.
Is there an alternative to the prone press? Yeah, you could do floor cobras. You can do some scapular depressions. You could hang from a bar, do like a dead hang. You could do, if you can't get a bench, you could do it with a band. Standing with a band, have a band pull from the front, retract, and do the press like that standing, so you could anchor the band to a bar. So that's a good pairing from that. There also there are pads for benches that you can get, you could bring to the gym. I don't know if it's Ab Mat. There's some company that does it, and it goes around the bench, and it's made for women. So it's like a little pad that goes where your ribs are, so you can have your tatters and not get crushed by the bench. Yeah, it's kind of like Matt says band pull-aparts. Yeah, I never do those, but it's similar. It's a different movement. It's a band. You could do the band pull-apart if it's anchored in front. So you kind of have the bands pulled back, and you're doing the press, the weight, and the resistance is just in front of you on the bar or from the band rather than with the dumbbells. So you're creating the same movement for the most part. Danny Papaswolio, are seedless watermelons okay to eat, or should I stick to a regular watermelon? It depends on where you are. I used to think that watermelon with the seeds, the black seeds, that have a lot of black seeds, that they were sweeter, but it was really a pain in the ass last time I got, because usually where you go, depending on where you live or what you have access to, sometimes all you have access to is seedless watermelon. Most watermelon now is seedless, but I remember a couple years ago, we were at a Walmart or something, and they had a lot of the long watermelon seeded. And I was like, oh, I haven't had those in a while. But it was just, there were so many fucking seeds. There were so many seeds, and it wasn't even, it seemed like it was extra seeded. There's usually regular watermelon, there's seedless. This was like they added extra seeds to it. And it was so hard to eat because I'm not going to eat all the seeds. I'm not going to spit them all out because every bite was like 50 seeds. And it was just a terrible experience. It was brutal. Because I don't want to eat the seeds. Maybe it was just the watermelon that I got. But anyway, most of the watermelon that I get are seedless just because that's what I have available. Maybe I just got some watermelon that were just, it was just so many fucking seeds. It was impossible to eat. Maybe it was a bad batch. Because even with seedless watermelon, you still get seeds. You still get some black seeds. And yeah, like Jarella says, it's just selective breeding. So you have watermelon and some of them have less seeds. So you breed those watermelon seeds into more watermelon that have generally less seeds because they come from, and as they go on, you keep on opting to replant the ones from the watermelon that don't have many seeds, and eventually you get ones that are pretty much completely seedless. But of course, obviously, once in a while you get a black seed. How dare they? How dare they put a fucking seed in my water?
How dare you?
All right, let's see here. Let's get a question. We got a call from Jared. Jared, you're on the line. If you want to call into the show, go to askpapaswolio.com and leave me a message, and we'll check it out on the show. Jared, you're on the Sleevescast.
Hey, hi from Japan. So, as an American, I would love nothing more than to have steak every day after my workouts. That said, it's a bit pricey over here. So I have a bit of a nutrition question for you. Why is it that bodybuilders tend to recommend steak or chicken, but not pork? Wouldn't a pork tenderloin be just as good as a source of lean protein? Anyway, much love, thank you for the content, and take care.
Awesome. Thanks for the call, Jared. Bummer that you have expensive steak. That's not acceptable. Japan, get your shit together. Yeah, it's a good question. I was never really a big fan of pork aside from bacon. In terms of nutrition and nutrient density, I think it really comes down to the quality of the pork. You can get more quality pasture raised pigs and stuff like that. But like anything else, most chicken is going to be low quality unless you actively look for free range or pastured chickens, and not to mention the digestive systems are different. So you have chicken and pork, which are monogastric, and the digestive system of a cow is better for extracting the nutrients. Grass-fed cows are not fed a lot of the grain and barley and things that chicken feed and pigs are often fed. So I think it depends on where you're getting it from. I do like pork bacon over beef bacon, but we don't have it a lot. I used to have it a lot more. I haven't had as much bacon as we were having for, there's probably about I would say a year or so. Was it 2 years? Maybe about a year or so. It was just, we were having a lot of bacon. Very, very frequently. But not so much anymore. We'll have it once in a while. But beef is much more, beef and eggs are much more satisfying to me personally. I don't want to speak for any other bodybuilders, but you know, the classic chicken and beef, but a lot of times they're having lean ground beef or lean cuts of steak. But bodybuilding, you don't want to confuse it with health, because a lot of times you have people that lift weights based on bodybuilding and bodybuilding principles, but they don't take the anabolics and they're not stepping on stage, so they don't really care how lean they are. And of course, there are certain protocols. If you want to get as lean as possible, you're not eating tons of extra body fat or not tons of fatty cuts of meat and things like that, just to get as lean as possible yourself. But you're stepping on stage and you're doing that for a certain reason. Obviously, it's not for longevity or for health, because that kind of extreme dieting is really just for the visual for 1 or 2 days that you have to compete. So I would say it depends on the source, but I would definitely recommend. Some people go more for fish. Again, this is why the elimination diet's important. And can you get results doing many different things? Obviously, we see people doing all sorts of different things, and genetics does play a role. Your effort plays a role. Everything else plays a role too. And some people just work better with certain things. Straight up. So I think more people are similar than different. But of course, there are these outliers of people that can do these very unique nutritional protocols, and based on everything that they do in their lifestyle, their genetics, what they execute, how they execute, they can. And then you have that person preaching, oh, this is what everyone should do. This is great. This is how I do. That's how they do it. So I think it's mostly the same, because we're all human, but I think there are those subtle tweaks that can make all the difference. For example, you might be allergic to one food. Maybe you have a severe issue with a certain vegetable or something. It can definitely hinder you a lot. Don't underestimate how dramatic these inflammatory responses and allergic reactions can be, even if it's one specific thing. So I think it's much more valuable to pursue optimal nutrition for you, but the more things that you change at the same time, you can't really tell what's working exactly. So make sure you're systematic through what you're applying. Be consistent as fuck. Focus on all your 7 pillars. And the more consistent you are, you can just tweak and adjust over time. Maybe you want to try getting some fish and certain types of fish. Maybe you feel great. Maybe you feel like absolute shit. Maybe you just feel hungry. Maybe you have a headache afterwards. You just don't feel that great. Maybe you feel awesome. Maybe you feel awesome for a little bit and then you don't feel so good. Maybe you have some chicken and it just doesn't work for you. Okay, then guess what? You figured it out. It doesn't work for you. And then it comes down to, then who the fuck cares what I eat, right? If someone is telling you eat chicken, you should eat chicken 4 times a day and this time, and you try it and you do that and it fucking tears you up for whatever reason, who cares? So it still comes down to you trying things. And a lot of times people will try a specific diet or a specific approach without going to the elimination. If you do the elimination, you're doing it yourself. You're testing these things yourself. You're creating your own. If you just do, I'm just going to say names that people know, like South Beach diet, or you do keto, or you restrict yourself to eating these things because this column says that column says that. If you come at it from an elimination and you cut out as many commonly inflammatory foods and you test things as you go through and you pay attention and you are interested in optimizing your nutrition, you test and you remove and you add things over time. And your diet might be really focused on these specific things, but then you kind of fluctuate and you try something here and you try adding here, you try eating a little bit early, you try eating once a day. Never tried that before, so then try it. Let me try eating twice a day. Let me try fasting twice a week, once a week, 3 times a week, whatever it is. And you try doing these different things. But if you just understand that if you try something, be consistent with it so you can actually, and take some notes and journal and stuff like that so you can actually see if it improves. And if it doesn't, because if you're trying something, if I fasted today and I didn't, and I binged, and you try things every other day, you're not giving yourself enough time to assess whether or not it works. So bottom line, continuously develop and learn and try things. And that's the best thing that I can recommend for you. And I'm more than welcome. I'm more than happy to tell you guys what I do. You ask me a question, hey, what do you eat? I mean, I'll tell you what I eat. But that might not be exactly where you should start. That might be where you get to. So I think that's even more important. It's just the concept as, and I'm not saying that wasn't a good question, but if you say, oh, a lot of bodybuilders say steak and chicken, it's like, well, fuck what they say. Right? A lot of people eat chicken. Yeah, a lot of people eat chicken. And guess what else? A lot of people are obese, and a lot of people eat shit quality soy and corn pumped weak ass chicken birds. So you could say a lot of people do this and a lot of people do that. A lot of people are mentally fucked up. A lot of people are fat. A lot of people have osteoporosis. A lot of people have diabetes. So a lot of people do a lot of things. So don't just follow any one thing. That's why our approach here in the Swole Fam is this individual testing series and this testing process and this ever developing. That's why I never say, oh, you should eat these things. I have things I'll recommend. If you have problems and you're doing A, B, and C and this, I'm going to be like, hey, I would recommend doing this, that, and the other. But you can always, you have to make sure that you are pursuing and learning as you move forward. Yeah, everyone's fucked up. What are we talking about in the comments? Horse meat? Moose? God, I go on a rant for a couple minutes and everyone's talking about moose and horse meat. Guys are fucking weird. I like it. I like it. You talk elimination diet and like, you know what I like? I like me some horse meat. Yeah. Give me a nice
Inconceivable!
piece of horse. All right, Cubs Colts fan. Best lifts for stubborn chest fat. Well, there's no lift that's going to attack fat. But if you want to build chest muscle, make sure you're hitting different aspects of the chest. I usually like to do a fly movement in any chest day, and I like to do either a flat or a decline movement along with an incline movement. So I might do either 3 or 4 exercises, 1 or 2 sets each. Today I did 3. What'd I do? Yeah, sometimes I'll do 1 set. Sometimes I'll do 2 sets. Sometimes I'll make it a drop and I'll make it 1 set, but it's like a couple extra. It depends. Chest dips are great. Decline bench is great, but these things are not going to improve chest fat. So what I would recommend Colts fan is to look at your sleep, look at your stress levels, cortisol. Sleep is very important. I would start looking at things like your deodorant, your body lotions, colognes, all these sprays. I would start looking into things like plastic in your household, any environmental toxins and shampoos and conditioners and laundry detergents. These things can easily they can fuck up your hormones. It can elevate your cortisol levels. A lot of environmental factors can lead to body fat storage, especially around those like glandular type areas. All right, Lucian Lycan, 666. Blasphemy. Blasphemy.
You're not making this easy on me, boy.
Same Pete Runner says, or just eat less. All right, Lucian. I train my full body. I mean shoulders, biceps, legs, etc. every day. Is that healthy? Well, let's break that apart a little bit. One, glad that you're moving. So many people don't train anything every day. So they train nothing every day. So that's good. Better than nothing. What are you trying to accomplish? If you're trying to get stronger and build muscle, no, it's not a good idea. I don't want to say it's not healthy, but you are one, you're not training these body parts hard enough. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to train them every day. If you're training them kind of like every day, you're going to get results. You might build a little muscle at first, but you're going to plateau pretty quickly. So if you're frustrated with not getting stronger or building enough muscle, I would recommend breaking them up into different days. That way you can go harder, give yourself some more recovery between subsequent sessions with the same muscle groups, and so forth. Eat less. What a concept. All right. So let's get into a couple good questions. That was fun. We got a bunch of videos in here. Do we have some short ones? I always like to see if we have a stumpy one. No. So we'll take a let's say a raffle. Maybe we'll do a couple of them. Remember, tomorrow at 6 p.m. we have our Swole Fam round table. Okay, so we'll take one more question probably, but we have a round table tomorrow at 6 p.m. So the episode will be private. So make sure you are joining the fam over there at swolenormousx.com and be there for the round table tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Let's take one more question from Mrs. RB. Miss Rihanna Bixler. It says, Papa Swolio, what would you recommend for mobility and strength for lower back and hip stiffness? Mister is struggling with it. Well, yoga, of course. And I would have him start doing shit with the hip mobility masterclass. Jefferson curls are great. Deep squats are fantastic. Rotational movements are great, like a yin for hips. And doing some of the early or the lower level vinyasa flows are fantastic, but yin for the hips is great to open some stuff up. Swollen 7 mobility would be excellent. So just understand that if you have issues at the hip or the knee, tightness can come from other areas. So your hips can be tight because of limitations in movement with your thoracic spine. It can be a vicious circle. It can loop back around. So you can have knee mobility limitations that lead to hip mobility limitations. If he had a knee injury, so he starts walking differently, then he's not tracking properly through his hips when he's walking and sitting. So then it creates tightness in the hips and vice versa. And then because you have tightness in the hips, then you starts having more knee problems. It can come from an ankle sprain or an injury or a broken bone, or plantar fasciitis can lead to shoulder pain over years. So it depends. But I would start with general yoga and general mobility and those types of exercise, those kinds of deep mobility movements like Jefferson curls are fantastic. Let's see. Rihanna says, okay, yin for hips. I was curious for the yoga part since I was figuring you'd say knee. He struggles with the same knee and hip side. Right. See, that's my point. That's my point. So you'll have something that, you'll twist something and it can lead to hip problems. And a lot of times I'll talk to someone that has shoulder pain or they have hip pain. And I ask them, have you ever sprained your ankle really bad or broken a leg on one side? Like, oh yeah, I broke this. So a lot of times what happens is you'll sprain your ankle or you'll break a toe. So then you're in a cast or you're splint or crutches or something, or you're limping around. So you're limping, so you're putting more stress on one side of the hip, then your body kind of like Jenga realigns itself, and you're doing that for like a few weeks or a couple months. So over time, these different muscles and joints all of a sudden wear differently and have different stress repeatedly that they're not used to because your body's out of alignment for a few months. And then after it kind of heals, you start walking again, but you don't notice how much your gait changed. So now you're walking a little bit differently on that foot because you're kind of programmed already to guard that toe that you broke. And 2 or 3 years later, all of a sudden you have like pain on one side of your hip and you're like, oh, I have hip pain. I don't know. My back hurts. I don't know what it is. So then you go to the doctor and they just give you a shot in your fucking back. And then, it kind of goes away for a little bit. Then it comes back and then you start having neck pain, all because you didn't address mobility issues in your ankle because of a toe injury 15 years before. And then it builds up over time. So it's really important. And that's why yoga and any kind of just awareness about this can help you constantly work to balance out these kinds of movement patterns that can fuck you up long term. It's wild how many times I've talked to people and they'll talk about an injury and then I ask them about a couple different areas of your body. I'm like, hey, have you ever injured your foot on your other side? And they're like, how'd you know? It's just a lot of, you look at this kind of stuff enough and you realize, oh, these are injuries that were never addressed, and then compounded over 10 years, all of a sudden now you have shoulder pain. Especially when you have chronic, like you always have pain, you get a massage, you do this, it goes away a little bit, then it comes back. It's because something's not aligned properly with your movement, and a lot of times that's because it's been happening over the course of years. You just didn't feel the pain or the discomfort. And it started, all of a sudden it kind of crossed that threshold. And then you started feeling it a little bit more. Okay. So now let's see what we got. Let's go balls deep. Good question. Who wants to go balls deep? You ready? All right, let's slap that sack. Let's fucking go.
That's deep.
I gotta hydrate. Let's see the tainty, man.
Aww.
Now he's all clean. Look how clean he is. He got groomed today. The sexy boy. He smells so good. All the puppers got groomed today. They got cleaned up. Smells so good. They smell so good. They're so clean. I'm gonna bite your bellies. I'll bite your bellies later. All right, let's go balls deep. Let's get into it. Let's see what we got here. All right, fam. Let's take a number. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 1 through 5.
What's in the box?
1 through 5. Make your choice. Choose wisely. 1, 2, 3, or 5. All right. The watermelon Nazi is choosing number 5. We'll do it, Amanda, from the Telegram chat. Number 5. Number 5. Here we are. It says question. It's a stitch. Question for trans woman. Oh, so this is gonna be bad.
Boys have a penis. Girls have vagina.
All right. Here we go. Lord have mercy.
Trans women out there, I have a question. How do you know that you're a woman?
You're not asking this question in good faith, and it's very obvious because you immediately proceeded to mock what you perceive trans women to be in the very next sentence. However, I'll still answer it for you. Your argument is rooted in biology. High school level biology at that, but biology, which is one science, but it is not all of the relevant sciences to the human experience, right? So when people only reference biology and exclude psychology, sociology, anthropology, you immediately lose all credibility in your argument. I will concede that I was born biologically male, but psychologically, I'm not a male. Sociologically, I'm not a male. Anthropologically, I'm not a male. Context and nuance matter, and I know you're not actually interested in engaging in this conversation, but if you were, you would need to reference all of the relevant sciences to the human experience, not just high school level biology. Being a woman isn't all about body parts, and you know that. Don't reduce all of us to that.
Pretty sure a woman, like, it literally is body parts. I mean, like DNA and chromosomes. Hey, not all, some women have had to have surgery, right? Some women are unable to have children and maybe have to have their uterus or their ovaries. Okay. So you can't say, well, not all women have ovaries. Yes, but they do have X chromosomes. So obviously, let's not make the exceptions the rules, right? You can be a woman and had breast cancer, so you need to have surgery and have, mastectomy and stuff. You're still a woman. It pretty much is your chromosomes. Like, it pretty much, like, is. Yeah. All right. So there's that. Who's hungry? Okay. Where were we? Well, thank you, Amanda. See what happens when you don't eat watermelon? You make terrible choices. You make terrible choices with your fruit. And now you're subjecting us to your terrible choices for videos.
Matt Damon.
Okay. Yeah, let's check out that swole card. Make America talk about needing to make America swole. Let's go, fam. Make America swole.
Fuck yeah!
Oh, Mama Swolio's in the Telegram chat. Don't talk to Amanda. She goes, "Hey Amanda, don't talk to her. She doesn't like watermelon. Don't talk to her." Yeah, don't. That's the one I was warning you about. Yeah. Hey, Pump. No, I'm not doing the watermelon picture. That was very exciting. Yeah, the one that hates Melly. Yeah, the one that hates Melly. Mm-hmm. That's the one. That's the one. All right, pick a number. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, or 4. All right, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let's go.
What's in the box?
1, 2, 3, or 4.
What the hell kind of country is this where I can only hate a man if he's white?
Let's go with Mama Solio chose 2. All right, Mama Solio chose 2, so we're doing number 2. All right, this is called. Oh, this is a long. All right, this is called Good versus Bad Therapist. I don't know why this is so long. We'll see. We'll see if it's really that bad. We'll stop it.
Ugh, I hate my body. I just want to lose weight, but I can't seem to stick to a diet plan. What's wrong with me? That sounds so frustrating. We can work on keeping you accountable to your goals and use mindfulness skills to manage cravings. Yes, okay, I just need to stop eating everything that I love and then I'll lose weight and I'll finally be happy. Can we pause for a moment and acknowledge that everything you're feeling about your body, your struggles with dieting and food, and the shame you experience all stem from living in this bullshit capitalist diet culture system? What? What do you mean? None of us are born hating fat and feeling ashamed of our bodies. We learn to from our families, social and cultural messaging, medical bias, and near constant ads from companies banking on your shame for profit. But others judge fat on your body. How am I ever going to feel good enough if I don't diet and lose weight? Losing weight and keeping it off is not a choice everyone can make with just diet and exercise.
Well, look, okay. One, what the fuck is she wearing around her neck? What in the actual fuck is that?
What the fuck is that?
This is way too long. I'm going to stop the video because there's another minute and a half. This is way too long. Just because TikTok allows like 3-minute videos does not mean you should make them. All right, so we're done with this video. I'm not playing anymore. So that's that. Thanks, babe. It's not your fault. She made the video. Capitalist diet culture. Yeah, we're done. We're done with the video. We're done with the video. We'll play a little bit. Well, everyone can make. Here's the thing. Not everyone can make improvements with just diet and exercise. Yeah, pretty much everyone can. All right, we're going to stop it. What person can't? Show me someone that can't, I don't know, be a normal human-sized person if they lift and train properly and they eat real food. Show me someone who's morbidly obese. Look, no, not everyone's going to look the same no matter what you do. But would we have 70 or 80% of the population fat, overweight, obese if everyone ate healthy? Of course not. And exercised? Of course not. It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. So I understand you don't want to feel like the therapist. You need them to come back and pay you more. So of course you're going to try to make it seem like it's everyone out to get them and it's not them. Everyone's just programmed, blah, blah, blah. What you need to say is stop being such a huge fucking pussy. Stop crying about it. Go do the best you can and shut up. Go train. You need to do some more lifting. You need to train harder. You need to work harder. You need to put in more effort. And just because you haven't tried the right thing doesn't mean that the right thing isn't going to work. It's going to work. You haven't tried everything. You're overdoing it. You're not eating the right foods. Anyone that is not getting progress and they tell you what they're doing, they tell you what they're doing for their exercise and they tell you what they're eating, and your mind and your brain explodes because you're like, no wonder you're not losing weight. You're sucking down tons of supplements. You're doing cardio 5 hours a fucking day. And you're eating, I don't know, 10 pounds of soy a week. No wonder you're not losing weight. No wonder you're not losing weight. Anyway, it's one of those things where, and for the record, I mean, I didn't watch the rest of the video, but I can pretty much guarantee that it doesn't redeem itself. I just can't tell you how many times I've talked to someone who has said all the words. I eat really clean. I exercise and blah, blah. I've tried everything, but I just can't. Well, tell me literally what you're doing. And if they start talking about their food, the first 10, 15 things they say, in my head, I'm vomiting. Like I would never put that in my mouth, any of it. And they're eating it all the time. No wonder you're not getting results. Pandemonium says, apparently Lizzo deleted her social media, LOL. Really? There is a God. There is a fucking God. He exists. Praise Jesus.
The more you hate me, the more you will learn.
Nate says she ate it. I'll just ate my Instagram account, Jenna.
You can be fat and be healthy. I'm sorry, Lizzo, healthier than I will ever be.
She ate it. Yikes. That was funny. Well, I wonder why. I wonder why. I'm sure we're all going to miss it a lot. How come? Right? How come? How come? How come? Couldn't emotionally handle it? Shocker. Shocker. Lying to yourself for so long, just your brain just can't take it anymore. You can't pretend that being fat is awesome and glorious and something to brag about. I don't know. No one's going to lose sleep over it. The internet is a little bit lighter today. Maybe she'll start taking care of herself as a result. We can hope. Okay. So let's do this. Let's do one more. This is an important one. I saw this. Yeah, this was fucked up. So I forget the whole story or where it was. I think it was in Massachusetts. That there, a lot of these public schools, private schools too. A lot of the schools, you've probably seen the videos where the kids are walking through the doors and it's just all these teachers dressed in rainbows and they're pushing this pride shit for one thing, has no place in schools. Okay, this stuff has nothing to do with children. There's no need to talk about sexuality to children. We know it's gross. It's just this creep towards full-on pedophilia being normalized. So this was interesting. I think it was at a Massachusetts school, Burlington, and some kids protested Pride, and the faculty were freaking out. They're like, "Oh my God, there's all this hate at our school." But let's check out this video and let's see if this is the clip that talks about it.
These displays of intolerance and homophobia are unacceptable.
This type of intolerant rhetoric starts in the home.
Parents angry at town hall over intolerance at Marshall Simons Middle School. Kids were asked to wear rainbow clothes in honor of Pride Spirit Day, but some organized a counter-protest wearing red, white, and blue or black. The principal sharing a statement to families that Pride posters were ripped down, stickers ripped up. Some students chanted "USA are my pronouns," and students showing Pride were intimidated.
That's awesome. USA are my pronouns. I like that. Good for those fucking kids. USA are my pronouns. I heard that they were chanting USA. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Let's go. This kind of shit gives you hope. That's nice. USA are my pronouns. Those parents should be proud.
It's an unruly disruption, in fact, that was organized ahead of time.
While some parents were upset, others say it was overblown.
Some of the kids threw the stickers on the ground. But, I can only speak for my daughter. She didn't want to wear that to school. It's not that she wanted to hurt anybody's feelings.
She says her daughter felt coerced to participate in the Pride event and was offended by some of the messages, like this quote from Tennessee Williams.
Human heart cannot be straight. It is curves and winds. And my daughter just kind of said, Mom, that's offensive to me, who I am straight.
But even parents like her, opposed to the Pride Month celebration, say the ripping of posters was wrong.
I think destructing any property is wrong. I think, I just think that was wrong.
Parents and community groups now calling for the town and school board to act and support diversity, equity, and inclusion. The incident sparking discussion at home.
Well, let me pause that for a second. So let's double down. Let's do more. Let's go harder with the diversity, equity, and inclusion, the DEI. Let's go harder with that. Look, and I do agree. I can understand. Okay, you don't rip things up. You don't destruct someone's property. Okay, fair enough. But at the same time, there's a lot of stories where you have teachers that are failing students on papers, on assignments, because they're not addressing these like insane questions, or they're not talking about pronouns and shit like that. So we've seen that in colleges and different areas and different aspects of academics, where if you don't bend the knee or use the proper language, that doesn't affect, or that, I guess, undermines this kind of ideological control that the instructor or the administrator is pushing, then they're retaliating with failing or lower grades and things like that. But yeah, I mean, this, for one, why is this stuff being pushed in school? And the thing is, if you disagree that this is the sinister nature of this argument. So if you say this should not be in schools, well, then you're a bigot. Then you're a hateful person. No, it just shouldn't be in schools. It shouldn't be in schools. You don't need rainbow flags everywhere. You don't need this coercion, which is exactly what that girl says. That's exactly what it is. You're required to wear, they wanted students to wear certain color shirts or something for Pride. Like, they were pushing people to participate. Why? It's a middle school. These are kids that are 11, 12, 13 years old. This has no place in education. You have places in Canada that want to change Mother's Day or Father's Day to, was it Mother's Day to Parents' Day? You had in Johns Hopkins, remember, they were trying to change, the definition of a lesbian was a non-man with another non-man. I don't know if you guys saw that story. You can look that up. It's like, why can't you say woman? Tell me they're not trying to erase women. Tell me they're not trying to demean women. You have literally biological men. It's just really fucking crazy how you have to say biological men. The fact that it's become way too common to say the term biological men. Let me ask you a question. What fucking other kind of a man is there? Not someone that just wants to say that your name, that like, I'm a man. You can't, not just because you said so. It doesn't work like that. I'm a fish. You wouldn't buy that, would you? I'm a fish. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Okay. Well, you said you are, so I believe you. Well, Papa Swole is not the same thing. Yeah, one's how you fucking feel. So, anyway. I don't know if you guys heard that story, though. But leave the kids alone. Has anyone ever cared? Who's, I should say no one, but who actually cared about Pride or the rainbow flag? Who cared about this stuff when you had like Pride Day or you had a parade? No one fucking cared. Remember, it wasn't really a big deal. Maybe some hardcore conservatives or certain religious groups might disagree. It's like, fine. But that's the culture creep, right? That's the degradation of society. When you start flaunting sexuality, when you start flaunting these things, it's just this erosion of children's innocence. You have this with the rise of, the different waves of feminism has come to the point where women are completely with OnlyFans and social media and Instagram clout. It's kind of like a perfect storm, right? It's a perfect storm of all these different, the ability for these types of ideologies to spread. And it's just acceleration. And I think that's what people are getting caught off guard, is not so much that this stuff came out of nowhere. It was going this direction, but obviously things like social media have allowed them to, it's like gasoline on a fire is the analogy. It was already going this direction. It was moving this direction. It was there. When you have a volcano that erupts, a lot of times it's building beneath the surface, or an earthquake, right? You have that tension building up to the point where the plates shift. So this kind of stuff, the seeds were planted. This is just the growth spurt. This is kind of like the explosion. All of a sudden you have this ability for this type of psychological manipulation. Plus, when you had the lockdowns, you really fucked with people. Not to mention the gene therapy experiment that we're all undergoing. So you have that with bad food, with isolation, which is one of the worst forms of torture for human beings. This is why even when you're in prison, punishment for someone who's in maximum security prison. You're already in maximum security prison. A punishment for someone who's already in fucking maximum security prison is isolation. Is the hole. Send them to the hole. You're already in max security prison. So how do you punish someone that's already in fucking prison? You isolate them from everyone. So that's what they did to everyone in the fucking world, pretty much. Some places worse than others. Constantly scared you for a couple years. People were eating like shit. And then you have social media. So then everyone is just connecting with their fucking brains on social media a lot more, on the internet a lot more. Very easy just to get hijacked. It just amplified everything. So a lot of the education and these ideas were there, but this just kind of ignited everything. Yeah, and Nate's right. We've talked about that before. Don't give him an inch. Don't give him an inch. You give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want a glass of milk. That's all this stuff is. So you just have to put your foot down on it. That's why you can't let any of this stuff take an inch. But this stuff is crazy. I think we can all agree. Just don't do this in schools. Like, there's no reason for this. Just don't. Just don't. There's no reason for this. Just teach them school things. This is not necessary. It's not. There's nothing required about this. It's not hate. No one's spitting on gay people or anyone on the street. Just don't do this in the schools. I agree. Don't destroy the property. Fine. But why are you shoving this down kids' throats? Not wanting it in school doesn't mean that you hate gay people. But that's the language, right? You hate trans people. You're against pride. You're against the cult. You're not succumbing. You're not taking a knee. And they very mad about it. They big mad.
on both sides.
My thing that I teach my kids is just
Diversity, equity, and inclusion. The incident sparking discussion at home on both sides.
My thing that I teach my kids is just be kind, and I wish the schools would just kind of pump the brakes on what they're shoving down these kids' throats.
The issue of pride in schools is very controversial. I understand that. I think we need to start at a place of commonality.
Now, the principal says that no one was forced to participate in the Pride Day event, but now parents on both sides want dialogue. Live in Burlington, Sean Shiabat, WCVB News Center 5.
Jesus Christ. What was that name? John Shianabat? Shianabat. Cool name. Shianabat. All right. Well, that was interesting. Yeah, but there are a lot of flags now. It's not just it used to be I don't know. It used to be a rainbow flag, and now it has different shapes in it. Now you have so many different flags. You have so many different flags. You have shapes, you have triangles, and you have trapezoids. I've seen some of these flags. There are so many colors on some of these flags. And I don't think there's anyone in the world that actually knows what they are. So I'm going to pose this question. I see this out of the corner of my swole eye in the Telegram chat. The girls are having trouble finding the female sign emoji. Maybe I'll put that out there. They can't find, what is it? The man is the arrow, like those symbols. And the woman is what, the circle with the plus or something. Everyone check your emojis on your phone. Do you guys see them? Apparently they can't find the women one. Did they delete it? Anyway. Oh yeah, there's a pedophile flag. I don't know. I don't know. But look, the more you accept, if you're accepting of one thing, they're just going to keep on taking more. And then you have to, and here's the problem, right? They try to take 10 feet, you push them back, you're like, hey, don't you fucking go anywhere. But then they go back 9, right? So they gain a foot. And then a lot more people just get tired of listening to this stuff, and they feel like someone else will handle it, or they don't want to speak up because they're scared. And then it just keeps on snowballing. You can't give an inch. You can't give an inch. The pedophile flag. It's fucking crazy. Oh yeah, there's a lot of flags. I don't know what these things look like. There's trans flag. There's a lot of fucking flags out there. Just anyone that has flags in their bio, if it's not a country flag, they'll usually have pronouns and a flag at the same time. Yeah, they do call them, well, that's minor attracted persons. That's what a map is. No emoji, so people are having trouble finding the female emoji? Is that right? Is the male one there, or they take them both away? Elizabeth said she found it. Well, you can search. You can go your emojis and just type in woman or female. Can't find it. Pandemonium can't find it. No emoji. Let's wash this out of our minds. Let's do a throwback, fam. Let's do a throwback, and then we'll give away today's swole card. All right? Let's have a good time. All right, throwback time. Here we go.
I think the hardest thing when it comes to fat liberation
is that it's located on my cock.
being able to move forward in terms of fat people being able to gain dignity and a sense of worthiness, belonging, and access is the idea that people can control the size and shape of their bodies.
You can! It's called discipline. It's called discipline. It's called creating a good fucking habit. Try it sometime.
I know that it's incredibly hard to wrap your heads around this. The idea that that is largely outside of our control goes against everything that we've been taught.
You're an idiot. Yep.
All right. Good throwback. Good throwback. Oh, I love these. So these are balls deep edits that we have. We released them in our overtime segment. So that reminds me, tomorrow is a round table, and that was awesome. Nice round of applause. Get a little golf clap.
I gave it a 10. A 10.
So
a fucking 10.
Tomorrow is our round table at 6 p.m. Eastern time, but then we have overtime on Friday. So the live stream is private tomorrow. So the next time we'll be here will be Friday. We'll be back probably to our earlier schedule, going live earlier in the day. I know a lot of you were waiting for an alert. And you're like, where's Papa? But it was too loud over here. It's too crazy. But as always here, we gonna go live. Don't you worry. And I will notify you. So overtime on Friday, roundtable tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to the roundtable tomorrow. Feels like it's been 2 weeks. It has been. Get it? It's been 2 weeks. But looking forward to it. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time, roundtable, and then overtime on Friday. Let's give away today's Swole card. Make America Swole. We certainly have to do that, my friends. Let's kick it off. Even if you hate watermelon, you could be there at the roundtable. Although, doesn't even be happy about it. And Amanda's spamming the chat. Not a chance. Not a chance. We got a winner, fam. Jay Hovey, congratulations. Hey, Papa Swole, it's rigged. Yeah, it's always rigged because you didn't win. Yeah, sound like a fucking Democrat. All right, Jay, congratulations. Send us an email to Make America Swole. No, don't send us an email to Make America Swole. Support@swolenormous.com. Swole card $25.95 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email, and we'll send you this Make America Swole card, and a great post too. You put hashtag Make America Swole. USA are my pronouns. God damn right.
Attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on science.
Yeah. Feels rigged. Well, it's not rigged because Jay won. It's rigged because Amanda lost. So that was today. Today was anyone but Amanda. I guess that's how it worked, right? No Amanda, no Pedro. So it's not that Jay won, it's that everyone else lost. So that's what we're gonna do from now on. All of you lost, except Jay. Jay, you're awesome. The rest of you suck. Everyone lost. The glass is half fucking full, bitches. There's only a drop in there, and that drop's name is Jay. Aw, churchies. Rub your bellies. Get in the bellies. No? Don't let me in? Everyone's giving me the cold shoulder.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn.
Come on, man. Hey, stop! What happened to your queer party friends? Fucking people.
Emotional damage. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Shut up, bitch!
Very, very smooth stuff, very classy. I'm learning a lot from you right now, dude.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
That was a sign. Coast to coast. Yeah, that was a sign. All men and women are created shoving the pressure. He couldn't even remember. All men are she's 19 years old. She looks almost 19, like a little lady with legs.
Look at her. She looks like she's 19 years old, sitting there with her, like a little lady with her legs crossed.
Hold on, I gotta call. I gotta getting a call from Ukraine. All right, no hands. Ooh, Dylan, I like that avatar. Swole privilege. No hands. That's right. Oh, this felt a little drafty. Hold on. God damn it. I need to grease that motherfucker. That chain is getting dry. Or this fucking knowledge cock is getting extra heavy. I love the evening cast. They always go long. That's what she said. Fam, thanks for being here. I will see you tomorrow at the round table, 6 p.m. Eastern time, and then back on Friday for FEF. We got overtime. We're going to have a brand new Drive While Gaining. 2023 is the year of DWG, and we do not disappoint. And of course, we'll have some more balls deep edits, and it's going to be fire. So tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time, round table. See you there. And back for $25.97 on Friday. See you at the round table. Peace, McGee's, Deuce McGoose, your boy Papa Swole. You. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing, like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint you. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. Our topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element. No,